7 stroke symptoms. 1 month before it happens. What if your body tried to warn you about a stroke? Weeks before it actually happened. The signs are real, but most people don't recognize them until it's too late.
A stroke doesn't always hit out of nowhere. In many cases, your body gives off clues, little hints that something's not right. These symptoms can show up days or even a whole month in advance. The problem is, they're easy to ignore. They seem harmless. Sometimes they even go away on their own. But that doesn't mean the danger is gone. In this video, we're going to break down 7 early symptoms that could appear before a stroke. These signs are simple, clear, and, if you know what to look for, life-saving. Because the truth is, 8 out of 10 strokes are preventable, but only if you catch the warning signs early and take them seriously. So stay with me till the end. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly what to watch out for, and when it's time to get help. Let's start. 1. What is a stroke? A stroke happens when blood can't reach a part of your brain. That might be because of a blockage, like a clot, or because a blood vessel bursts and starts bleeding. Either way, your brain cells start dying within minutes, and the longer it takes to fix, the worse the damage. There are 2 main types. The first is called an ischemic stroke. This one is caused by a blocked artery and makes up about 85% of all strokes. The second kind is a hemorrhagic stroke. That's when a blood vessel breaks and causes bleeding in the brain. Both are dangerous, but in different ways. Now here's where it gets important. Your body doesn't always wait until the last minute to react. In fact, it often gives off warnings, a kind of alarm system that shows up as small changes in how you feel, move, or think. These are sometimes called mini-strokes, or TIAs, transient ischemic attacks. They don't last long, but they're serious, because in many cases, a full-blown stroke can follow within days or weeks. So, if your brain is running low on oxygen, even for a short time, you might feel it. The trick is knowing what to look for, and we're starting with a sign that's surprisingly easy to miss.
1. Sudden vision problems.
Imagine you're reading a text message, and suddenly the words go blurry. Or maybe you lose vision in one eye for a few seconds, then it comes back. Most people would brush that off. Maybe your eyes are tired. Maybe you need a new glasses prescription. But what if it's not your eyes at all? Vision changes, especially when they come on fast, can be one of the first signs of a stroke coming. That's because parts of your brain control how you see. If blood flow to those areas slows down, your vision can be the first thing to suffer. This can look like double vision, blind spots, or even full blackout in one eye. And it doesn't always hurt. That's what makes it tricky. A lot of people ignore it or wait for it to go away. And sometimes it does. But even if it lasts just a few minutes, it's still a red flag. One important clue. If the vision problems come along with dizziness, trouble walking, or a heavy feeling in one side of your body, don't wait. It's time to get checked out. Now let's move on to the next sign, a symptom that many people feel but rarely connect to something as serious as a stroke. 2. Sudden, unexplained fatigue. We all feel tired sometimes. Maybe you stayed up too late, had a stressful day, or skipped breakfast. But stroke-related fatigue is different. This kind of tiredness hits you hard, fast, and for no clear reason. You might wake up feeling exhausted, even if you slept all night. Or you could suddenly crash in the middle of the day with no energy to even lift your arms. This isn't just regular sleepiness. It's a deep, bone-level exhaustion that doesn't go away with rest, and it can happen weeks before a stroke. The reason? When your brain isn't getting enough oxygen-rich blood, it has to work harder to do everyday tasks. That stress can drain your energy fast. You might also feel foggy, like your brain isn't keeping up. Concentration becomes harder. Simple things start to feel overwhelming. The tricky part is that this kind of fatigue doesn't seem like an emergency. Most people blame stress, age, or just having a bad week. But when this kind of tiredness comes out of nowhere, and especially when it keeps happening, your body might be warning you about something more serious. Watch out for fatigue that pairs with dizziness, memory problems, or weakness. It could be your brain asking for help before something worse happens. Now, we've talked about your energy dropping, but what if the stroke warning is more emotional than physical? 3. Mood swings or sudden personality changes. Have you or someone you know suddenly started acting different for no obvious reason? Maybe they're more irritable than usual. Maybe they're anxious all the time or seem unusually down. These shifts in mood or behavior might seem like emotional ups and downs, but they could actually be coming from the brain itself. When certain areas of the brain start losing blood flow, they don't just affect how you move or speak, they can affect how you feel. That means personality changes, emotional outbursts, or even depression can show up before a stroke. And it's not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes the change is subtle. A normally calm person might become snappy or restless. Someone cheerful might withdraw, stop talking much, or lose interest in things they used to enjoy. If it feels out of character, pay attention. This symptom is often overlooked because we don't usually connect mood to medical emergencies. But these emotional shifts can be the result of tiny disruptions in brain function. Disruptions that may turn into a full stroke later on. If these changes appear suddenly, without a clear cause like stress or trauma, and especially if they come with other warning signs like fatigue or trouble thinking clearly, don't ignore it. Your brain controls your thoughts, feelings, and personality. If something starts to change there, it's worth listening. Coming up next, a stroke symptom that feels like your words are getting tangled or even disappearing. 4. Slurred or confused speech, even temporarily. Picture this. You're talking and suddenly the words just don't come out right. Maybe your speech sounds slurred, or you mix up words you've known your whole life. Or maybe you know what you want to say, but you just can't get the words out. This kind of speech trouble can be one of the most important early signs of a stroke. Even if it only lasts for a few minutes, it shouldn't be brushed off. Why does this happen? Because your brain controls language, how you form words, how you understand them, and how you speak. If blood flow to that part of the brain is interrupted, even briefly, your ability to talk clearly can suddenly break down. You might notice someone using the wrong words, speaking in a jumble, or pausing mid-sentence like they're stuck. Or they might say something totally unrelated to what they meant. And just like that, it passes. They sound fine again. But that speech glitch could be a mini stroke or a sign that a major stroke is coming. It's one of those symptoms we tend to excuse. Maybe they were tired. Maybe it was stress. But if someone suddenly has trouble speaking or understanding, even for a few seconds, take it seriously. It could be a warning shot. Now, let's talk about something that might seem physical at first, but actually points straight to the brain. 5. Numbness or weakness, especially on one side. This is one of the most classic signs of a stroke, but what many people don't realize is that it can show up gradually or come and go in the days or weeks before a full stroke happens. If you feel sudden numbness, tingling, or weakness, especially in your face, arm, or leg, and especially if it's just on one side of your body, that's a red flag, even if it goes away after a few minutes. That one-sided pattern is key. It tells you that one side of the brain might be struggling. The right side of your brain controls the left side of your body, and vice versa. So if your left arm suddenly feels heavy or numb, the issue might be in the right side of your brain. This doesn't always feel dramatic. It might start with a weird tingle in your fingers or a feeling like your leg's asleep. But if it's happening more than once, or if you notice your grip feels weaker, or your smile looks uneven in the mirror, Don't wait. People often think it's probably just a pinched nerve, or maybe I slept on it wrong. But if it's new, sudden, and especially if it comes with dizziness or trouble speaking, get it checked out immediately. Because weakness is one thing, but what if your balance starts to go too? 6. Trouble walking or sudden loss of balance. Have you ever stood up and suddenly felt like the room was spinning? Or taken a step and almost lost your balance, even though you weren't dizzy before? That kind of sudden unsteadiness can be more than just a fluke. Loss of balance, poor coordination, or feeling unusually clumsy can be early signs that your brain's communication with your body is breaking down. And that can happen when certain areas of the brain aren't getting enough blood. It might feel like you're drunk, even though you haven't had a drop. Walking becomes harder. Turning your head too fast makes you sway. You may even feel like your legs aren't listening to you. These are subtle warning signs that your brain's motor control system is struggling. Sometimes this symptom is paired with nausea, double vision, or vertigo. People often chalk it up to being tired or dehydrated. But if it's new, sudden, or getting worse, your brain could be sounding an alarm, especially if you're someone at higher risk, like if you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or a history of smoking. Don't wait for a fall to take it seriously. The next symptom we'll talk about might surprise you. It's not physical at all, but it can show up quietly, and it's just as important. 7. Sudden, severe headaches. Most of us have had a headache. They're annoying, sure, but usually harmless. But a stroke-related headache is something else entirely. This kind isn't gradual. It comes on fast, and it can feel like the worst pain you've ever felt in your head. We're talking about a headache that stops you in your tracks. It might hit like a thunderclap, sudden, sharp, and intense. Some people describe it as a bursting feeling, or pressure that just keeps building. It can come with nausea, vomiting, or trouble seeing. And it can show up days or even weeks before a full-blown stroke. Why does this happen? In some cases, it's a sign of a hemorrhagic stroke, when a blood vessel in the brain starts leaking or bursts completely. That pressure causes pain, and your body reacts fast. But even in the case of mini strokes or early warning signs, sudden headaches shouldn't be ignored, especially if they feel different from your usual kind. A good rule: if it's the worst headache you've ever had, or if it feels new, sudden, and unexplained, get it checked out. It's better to be wrong than to wait too long. Now that we've gone through all 7 symptoms, let's bring it all together and talk about what to do next, when to see a doctor. So here's the big takeaway. If you or someone you know experiences any of these symptoms, don't wait. Even if the symptom goes away, even if it seems minor, even if you're not sure it's serious enough, it's better to be safe than sorry. These signs could be early warnings, your body's way of saying, hey, something's wrong up here. You don't need to have all 7 symptoms. Just one can be enough to raise a red flag, especially if it happens suddenly or keeps coming back. And if multiple symptoms appear together, like slurred speech and dizziness, or numbness and vision trouble, that's an even bigger reason to act fast. Mini strokes, or TIAs, are like dress rehearsals for a full stroke. The symptoms come, they go, and people often ignore them. But the truth is, 1 in 3 people who have a TIA will have a full stroke later, and many of those happen within just days or weeks. Seeing a doctor early can make all the difference. Let's quickly recap the 7 early warning signs of a stroke. 1. Sudden vision problems. 2. Extreme unexplained fatigue. 3. Mood swings or personality changes. 4. Slurred or confused speech. 5. Numbness or weakness on one side. 6. Trouble walking or loss of balance. 7. A sudden severe headache. These symptoms don't always scream emergency, but they whisper, and those whispers matter. Your brain is your most important organ. When it starts acting differently, don't ignore it. Listen to your body. Pay attention to small changes, and if something doesn't feel right, get checked. It could save your life or someone else's. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with someone you care about. The more people who know the signs, the more lives we can protect. And if you'd like more simple, clear health information like this, hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Stay safe